North Carolina. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement from you, then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, I am so pleased with how tonight went. Going into it, our mindset was to start strong and to handle the noise, meaning there's going to be a lot of distractions, nerves, doubts, things that everybody goes through their first time competing during a season, and I thought our team handled that tremendously well, from having to pause the meet at one point to having 50 to 70% of each lineup being a brand new routine. There was a lot of reasons that this team could have been phased, but they were not. They continued to focus on the things that they could control, continue to invest in each other in what makes them great on a day-to-day basis, and we're able to just stay in control of the whole night. And I think that's the name of the game, not to try harder, not to try less, just to stay in the driver's seat of every single step they take throughout a competition. So overall, I think that was a really great start for us. We of course have things we're already going to be thinking about tweaking, building, adjusting, but I really couldn't have asked for anything more to start the season with a young team that delivered a strong, scary statement to the gymnastics world.
Great. All right, we'll open it up for questions.
You talked about, Ashley, the lineups having a lot of new routines. Just what did you see out of the people making their debuts tonight, whether it was some of the freshmen or Gabby on beam, or I think Rachel, that was your first time on floor?
Yeah, I'll start with Rach over here, who crushed it with a 9-9 on floor in her first ever floor performance, right? Okay. I think the thing about Rachel and really everybody that kind of made their debuts tonight were that they were relentless through the preseason about finding the right routine construction, going above and beyond to work the little details, not knowing if it was going to make a difference or not. I think that's the crazy thing about gymnastics is you can't wait to see if something works before you give it your all in the process. And that's something that has really stood out to me about Rachel, about Gabby, who went on beam, Karis on vault. Nobody's ever promised the outcome, but they absolutely attacked it with everything they could all through preseason, summer training, and just really gave it everything to give themselves the best shot to be a key player in our lineups, and I think that really paid off tonight.
Lilly and Rachel, with an unplanned pause in the meet today, how did you guys kind of, settle yourselves, make sure you didn't lose the momentum and lose your focus on the meet?
Yeah, I think that's what this team does best. Like Ash was saying, we're unfazed by the irrelevant little things that go on outside of our bubble. A lot of credit to Rye in the back half of the bar lineup. It was just another little thing that went on the outside and didn't affect anything that they were doing. It didn't affect their approach, and I'm just so proud of them.
I think also we worked in the gym on being able to handle any situation, so when that came up, it wasn't really a situation, it was just normal for us and we knew what to do. We stuck together as a team. We were having a dance circle, people were staying warm, doing what they needed to do, and it was just like another practice for us because it was something we were able to handle.
It was actually funny in that moment because I walked over to the chalk tray and Gabby Gladio looked at me and she was like, "Are you playing tricks on me again?" And I was like, "No, I'm not playing tricks on you." And what she meant is that we do practice scenarios like that pretty frequently where we kind of pause the practice to make them wait a little bit longer. They all hate that in practice because once you get going, you want to keep going. And again, I think that was a great moment where you could see that work paying off. And I think for our team, it's confirmation that we need to continue to practice all scenarios like that because that allowed us to step into it so smoothly and overcome it, and it wasn't even a big deal.
For Rachel, just what was it like to be able to perform on floor the first time and kind of hit the routine with the 9-9? It started a string of 9-9s that Lilly, you were able to continue, so if you can kind of talk about that too.
It was such an amazing experience. Like Ashley said, I really worked hard in the preseason, and everybody who was able to debut a new routine, we really worked hard in order to put ourselves in this position. So it was amazing having my teammates with me. Being in Coleman Coliseum was so fun, and there were moments where I was just very grateful for where I was and very grateful for the hard work that got me there and my teammate support and my coach's support. So it was surreal, but also, again, like Ash said, we really prepared to put ourselves in the best position. So it was a moment where I just wanted to take it all in and then do my best for my team too. So it was an amazing experience to be able to go out there and do floor at Coleman.
Yeah, so proud of Reach. I mean, they set me up perfectly to just go out there and compete freely. I think I remember tonight, I remember every year, but I remember tonight why I love it so much. I was just all smiles, and as soon as I started my routine, I just had so much gratitude and appreciation, just soaking it all in. Everyone on their feet. Coleman was electric. We had people running around, getting people hyped up. I couldn't even hear my music after my first pass. It was so loud. So I'm just taking it all in, especially since this is my last year, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hold that. This was also the 5th highest team opening score in the program history at 197.025.
What a night.
Continue.
Ashley, you, Peyton, a freshman, anchored the bars lineup and then took the title. So what does that kind of say about her as a gymnast and just having that faith in her?
Peyton she is such a performer, she's such a competitor, but really it's just a reflection of her work. For me, it doesn't matter if you're a freshman, a junior, a senior, a sophomore, a super senior. Every experience is valid, every experience is needed, and you don't learn until you just get out there and go. And so for me, she had earned an opportunity to really be a high scorer for our team, and it made sense to have her as an anchor, and I think we all trusted her. We've seen her do the work, we've seen her step up in high pressure situations, and she does that every day. That routine didn't look any different than what she does every single day in the gym. She's consistent, she's a go-getter, and we always try to be our average, and she was her average out there today, and just turns out her average is pretty dang good.
Got time for a couple more?
This can really be for any of y'all, but I know there's so much that's out of your control with scoring, but for Gabby to get that 995 at the end, for y'all to go over the 197 mark, and I guess the 5th highest season debut, just kind of how good is it to kind of cross that threshold already in the first meet?
If you guys don't
Right. Well, it's obviously an amazing feeling, but we really focus on being unfazed. I know we talked about that a lot, but I didn't know where we were going into floor or any event because we try not to look at the scores because, again, like you said, that's an uncontrollable for us. So it's an amazing feeling to be able to do that, and it does validate all the hard work we've put in. But at the same time, we knew tonight was a win for us, whether or not we hit that threshold too. So yes, it's an amazing feeling, but also I'm so proud of us for everything we did, regardless of the scores.
Yeah, I think the scores can be so unpredictable that even if we ended the night with a 196.2, I think we would still have that same feeling of we started strong and we handled the noise, and that was a great building block to continue to grow in. And that's something that we've really worked to have a better hold of this year, is to really have a set metric for how we're going to judge this meet. It's not by the score, but what in our approach can we judge that we did really well. And so again, I think tonight was about handling the noise, handling any type of distraction, and we had a perfect opportunity to be able to do that tonight. And so that's how we count our wins, and we'll take that, continue to refine the details, and keep plugging away for next week.
After a win like this, how do you guys, make any changes or keep going into a meet like Kentucky next week?
We are always making changes. I think the biggest distraction can be complacency. We're going to be really happy for the next 2 hours, and but I can tell you my brain is already tweaking 17 things that we're going to plug into practice starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow to talk through, figure out how do we get a half-tenth better. And we can't actually control the score outcome, but we can control our approach to chipping away at those little details. We're looking at depth this first third of the season. We really want to get 10 competitors on every event that are dialed in, ready to go. And it doesn't matter who's going, everybody's able to make that type of impact. So we'll hit the ground running again starting tomorrow, have a nice restful weekend, and then prepare for our first away trip at Kentucky.
For Ashley, do you have an update on Jamison Sears that she just didn't warm up tonight or compete?
Yeah, Jamison this week had kind of an unplanned just setback come up, and she wasn't cleared to be able to go tonight, but I expect her to be practicing by Monday again. So she has been progressing well. She had a little injury setback during the fall as well, but she continues to put her head down, work, and I do believe she'll be prepared to compete in the next few weeks.
For the last question, I want to highlight that we had close to 9,000 fans in attendance despite the winter weather. So touch on that and how much they played an impact tonight.
Considering only 9,000 people in there and how loud it was, imagine how it'll be when we sell it out this year. And just even on floor, throughout the meet, it was electric, but at the end, like that is why we do it, and it made such an impact on the whole entire lineup. So if we can push that throughout the whole meet, it's going to be a difference maker.
I think too, we talk about having that home field advantage, and that is exactly what we felt like tonight, and I can't wait to see how it grows. We really work hard to get out into our community and connect with everybody, to see them show up and support us. It really means a lot, and it makes such a difference. Not just on floor, that was obviously where it was the loudest, but even throughout the meet when they're responding to the cheers and they're getting really loud and shouting tens, it makes all the difference, and it helps us feel connected to them because this community is so supportive, and it's an amazing experience to be able to have them cheering us on.
Yeah, I really just want to thank the fans and thank the community, because I know waking up this morning and seeing the snow outside my window, I was like, oh no. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a little bit more experienced at driving in the snowy weather, but I do know that every time it snows here, I got Florida girl over here.
I was playing in the snow this morning.
Michigan over here is a little more prepared, but we do recognize that it really took some extra effort and preparation to make sure everybody could get here safely tonight and be loud, bring the energy, and we just really appreciate our fans community. Like they both said, it's just really a difference maker. It's why people come to Alabama. When you compete in an environment like that, people watching in the stands, they just want to be here. They want to compete on this team. So it really is a huge difference maker, not only for the competition itself, but for the future of Alabama gymnastics. So we really appreciate that investment. Our ladies work hard. They invest into the community 1 hour every single week as they are striving to be the change that they want to see in this world and in this program, first and foremost, to start with. So thank you all. We appreciate you. And our goal is to sell out 3 of our 5 home meets this year. So our next home meet is going to be Oklahoma. Following that, it's LSU, and then Florida, or Auburn, and then Florida. So we have an incredible stacked lineup, and we just ask that everybody can show up and help us accomplish that goal.
All right. Thanks.